Yo, memamo akwa bashron koso adiaba POG Media so mesre safi and asawaba ayejumedi konofo iswa obede obe subscribe like jumedi and share nema for and so answer in can be kindly click on the notification bell no send the any news be at a platform no so I won't so work no the air call and the air by jumedi no yet so na your room no K.Pratt, in Ghana in politics, or one of the political veteran power Ghana has seen, or the insane be about to get NPP home. While last NPP pay their all transfers bini new maybe or more especially or more demonstration or more the core say NDC are buying 88 year omofa who deals no wakasa their fasa nyoma we home a church nyoma bebre mu omobowura insempa woni abedwafo ye pese beko ne akwakote yensama owura anaso onyamfo K.Pratt de to yenko ne konkotie ye bai de aka no ba besom.
Thank you very much for that. Well, let's conclude on this topic with K.Pratt Jr.'s thoughts.
Well, I think if you read the 1992 Constitution, the right to demonstrate is completely unfettered. Nothing, according to the Constitution, should stop anybody or any people from protesting, from demonstrating. Indeed, the fetters to the right to demonstrate, as enshrined in the Constitution, only come in the public order law. And I've always maintained that the public order law is an affront to the 1992 Constitution. But we need to go to court to get a decision on that. So there's nothing wrong with people demonstrating. In fact, you can wake up in the morning and decide that there was too much sugar in your cup of tea and jump on a demonstration. Legitimate. You can wake up in the morning and decide that the road on which you rode to your office was too nice and too smooth. You don't want that. You want potholes in your road. You're entitled to demonstrate. There's no problem with that. Okay. So I'm not going to criticize anybody for organizing a demonstration. But this demonstration revealed something very, very interesting. Exceedingly interesting. There were people in this demonstration holding placards and didn't know what was on the placard. The placards they were holding, they didn't know what was on the placard. Some did not understand what had been written on the placard. You understand? And then, worst of all, I mean, this is the classic. People who were actually in the demonstration who did not know that they were demonstrating. I mean, this is a classic. They had placards on the demonstration said, they told us that we should come, we are going somewhere to go and look for, alternative sleeping places and so on. Yeah, they didn't know that they were demonstrating. I mean, this is incredible. Wow! So, what is this? I mean, and then there was another batch of people who were interviewed who actually said that, as for them, they joined the demonstration because they had been promised that if the NPP should win power, it would legalize the smoking of marijuana. So that's why they were the demonstration. Okay? Meanwhile, the organizers of the demonstration claimed that they were protesting against harassment of their leaders. So, which is which? The organizers had a different objective, the demonstrators had a different objectives, and so, like that. So, this is a very, very interesting demonstration. And there's also something very significant. You see, over the last 8 years, the Flagstaff House has been declared a no-go area for demonstrators. It was declared a security zone. These demonstrators had access to the Flagstaff House. They went and presented their petition in the Flagstaff House. Something has changed, hasn't it? Something very significant had happened. The Flagstaff House is no longer barred for demonstrations. Demonstrators can go there and present their petitions as well. And there was something even nicer. I mean, the chief of staff at the office of the vice president actually received the demonstration and engaged in a conversation with the leaders of the demonstration. He told them, we have received your demonstration, you know, and so on, made the points and so on. So beautiful. So very beautiful. So in the end, what did this demonstration do? In the end, this demonstration demonstrated, seriously, that the people in authority are ready and are guaranteeing the right to demonstrate free expression. In the end, it showed the difference between this government and the previous government when it comes to demonstrating and so on. And it's very interesting. In any case, I was just wondering, the leaders who are being harassed, who are we talking about? You know, because I was expecting the demonstrators to come and say, oh, Mujib has been harassed. He hasn't done anything wrong. This is Mujib, he's been harassed. So we are protesting that you should stop harassing people like Mujib. There was nothing like that. There was just a blanket statement about leaders being harassed. And I find something very curious. You know, there were two persons who were connected to a threat to kill the president, assassinate the president, and behead his wife.
Yes.
And put their bodies in cocoa sacks. Now these two persons, after they had been granted bail, went to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia made a speech about harassment of political opponents and so on. Are these the people that you were demonstrating? Mujib, I'm not sure. Are these the people that you were demonstrating about?
They were the people.
Because in any country, if you threaten to assassinate the president, you'll be arrested. In any country, if you threaten to behead the wife of a president and keep their bodies in cocoa sacks. And why cocoa sacks? You understand? Why cocoa sacks? What's this fixation with cocoa sacks and so on? So, I don't know what this demonstration was meant to achieve. To allow people to threaten the president with assassination. What is this? Everybody who has been arrested, everybody, all of them, they were granted bail. In fact, most of them have not even been formally charged yet, and so on. So what is the problem? What are they demonstrating about? Did you take part in the demonstration?
Oh, he was with them. But with them in spirit.
Of course.
Of course.
So what is the demonstration about? Huh? I don't understand. I'm still struggling to understand what this demonstration was about. Look, and to be honest with you, some of those who have been arrested are friends of ours. I mean, some of them are my friends. I mean, I know some of them are Solo's friends and so on. I mean, somebody like Mustafa, you know, Hamid, has been my friend for many years, from the 70s, you know, and so on. A friend for more than 30-something years. Yes, I know him so very well. Of course, when he became a big man, I saw him only twice, but that doesn't matter. But I've known Mustafa for many, many years and so on. I wish him well. I don't want Mustafa to go to jail. You know, if there was anything I could do in order to help him put up a good defense and so on, I'm ready to do it. As a friend, I owe him a duty. You understand? And there are many of them. But the point is that what was this demonstration meant to achieve? I don't understand. This demonstration, at the end of it, what was it meant to achieve? And NPP, tell us, who is being harassed? Just mention 2 names of people who are being harassed. Well, anyway.
And so, look, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that can yes, one. Oh, okay. That one was the one that I liked the most. Thank you. Thank you. When I heard it, it was so. I like the title. That title was.
People were smoking, so they don't fear the police. I
think it is the smoking aspect that you saw.
Oh, the way they were in the joyous mood.
Smoking marijuana.
Marijuana, then tampe. And one small. Puffoo. I said, wow. They are socially granting amnesty.
Well, this is from Papa BC, who says, I hope you are hearing Solomon also properly. Fact is, anytime NPP is in government, that we do hear a lot of mafia tactics in their governance. And Akuffo's regime, and Deputy Minister of Finance, K.Pratt gave a contract to women without parliamentary approval. K.Pratt was never prosecuted by women, was rather insulted and vilified by Ghanaians living at Jimamenu. Sima Jimamenu, as the health minister and the Akuffo's government, gave a Nigerian company, Frontiers, a contract without parliamentary approval to manage vaccine at the airport. They made over $86 million profit, but Ghana was given less than $8 million. Same person brought Sputnik vaccine without parliamentary approval and is still working free. He sent that from Spinters. Thank you very much. Let me say a big thank you to CKეზD FM 89.7 in ธ์erly. We are live on CKეზD FM. We are live on Shine FM Akachi 96.9, Hills FM in Addo 91.7, Newest Radio ธ์erly on 89.7, Stella Radio Dabala on 97.1, Diamond FM in Tamale, they are on 93.7, Bewa Radio in Yendi on 106.5, Radio Kitawan Saboba on 95.7, Benya FM Elmina on 105.7, Global FM 105.1 in Ho, Zeps FM is on 95.9 in Zabila, True FM 92.5 in Adeso, Lamara FM is on 89.1 in Tripoli, Buem 88.7 FM in Jasikan, Lokusi 96.1 in Virgo Lokwati. Tyne FM is on 90.9, Sekbele 104.3 FM in Likpe Todome, Akpini Radio in Pando, Denigba Radio 90.9 in FM, OT Radio in Dambai. Thank you all very much for giving us your platform. We do have some 20 minutes left. I guess we can spend the last discussing the return of Founders Day. So very brief comment. This time I start with Mr. Sweeney.
I think that for us in the national
Yo, Jumadiani Gusua de Brem message over subscribe like Jumadiani share them out for friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell no so send a be the news be at a platform no so I also well dear call any the air but Jumadiano Egusua de Tragu na ye de air of family no the air bro to message over subscribe like Jumadiani share nama for and so answer any the and can be POG Media de ye best some ma kasa money be the money be so please young court name your family no.
It is yet one fulfillment of the very promises we made to the good people of this country. You remember that indeed the whole concept of Founders Day was initiated by the National Democratic Congress under His Excellency President John Evans Atamios, then as President, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as Vice President. And for us, apart from the inspiring role and historic stature of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, not just in Ghana, but even globally, we were also inspired as a political party by not just his ideology, but to a very large extent, the realization that indeed when it comes to present-day Ghana, that history can never be written without this effort of Osajefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and like many other countries have. I think even the African Union decided to honor his memory by erecting a big statue at its headquarters in Addis Ababa to honor the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So it was only proper at that point that we take ownership of that identity as well and hopefully position our country in a way that we can tap from other countries, neighboring countries, especially when it comes to the political capital that we can derive both within Africa and outside Africa as far as the personality of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is concerned. Secondly, it also has to do with his inspiring role. Many of us, look, one of the challenges facing this country is the psyche of our youth. Today, history has been relegated to the back burner. You would be shocked to engage many of our junior high school pupils, senior high school pupils, who may not be able to give you accurate representations or reflections of even the United Gold Coast Convention, how much more the Nkrumah years as president and his eventual overthrow. And even if they do, the few that are able to do are unable to tell you the lessons inherent in that particular struggle. Because new media has come, we have not taken advantage of the new media to continue to propagate what these founding fathers stood for and conscientize the Ghanaian youth to be able to also position themselves in terms of thought to take up the next mantle of leadership. If you look at South Africa, for example, and the politics of the economic freedom fighters, you may have your disagreements with the politics of Malema and his political party. But in truth, they acknowledge that Nelson Mandela was tasked with the responsibility of giving them political freedom, which they rallied around him to secure for the people of South Africa. And that the next task of leadership is economic liberation. And that is the responsibility of this current generation. It is simply because these guys understand the role of Nelson Mandela in the struggles of South Africa and where it ended and where, as a youth, they also have to continue. Today, many of these new media platforms is entertainment and our toxic political temperature that shapes the orientation of many of our youth out there. And for me, I think that a single day for the celebration of Founders Day is just not enough. We must reinstitute the public lectures. I can assure you that in secondary school, I tasted history. I probably read about the United Gold Coast Convention and CPP. In University of Ghana, I sat in history class because I read history. But Senna, I learned a lot those days. And I must concede, from the many lectures the likes of Uncle K.Pratt held on our various campuses about our independence struggles. Today, I do not see these lectures taking place on our various campuses. In Commonwealth Hall in particular, those days, we used to dedicate a day for such engagements at the Hill, where people were invited to give us perspectives on our independence struggle. Indeed, it was many of these lecture series that eventually birthed and culminated in University of Ghana at a point at the same Commonwealth Hall, hosting the likes of Uncle K.Pratt and co. against the U.S. military base, the U.S. decision to establish a military base in Ghana under President Akuffo. You remember? Today, these things are missing on our university campuses. So what it means is that that transition, all the works that the likes of Uncle K.Pratt and co. did, there seemed to be a break. There's no effective transition to continue that conscientization. And that has been the problem with most of Africa. Our ability to ensure a seamless transition of ideas from one generation to the other. It appears that almost every generation, they die with their ideas. Then the young or the younger ones also continue to formulate their own ideas on the way. But our ability to be able to transition in such a way that many can take inspiration from that is missing.
Okay.
And there's the need for us to take advantage of the Founders Day to institutionalize these lectures on our tertiary campuses. Okay. It is not enough for a declaration of a Founders Day, but we must have a plan of action where, for example, every university on that day must do an activity to commemorate that day, apart from the national activity that we'll do. If it is that we are going to have a national debate on University of Ghana campus or a national debate at UCC or KNUST, we must begin to do so. So institutions like the National Youth Authority of Ghana, these are initiatives that they can also champion.
Okay.
And ensure that at least, if for nothing at all, we keep the debate going. As for my brothers and sisters on the other side of the political divide, I can understand their resentment against the legacies of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And if we cede the grounds to them, they will continue on that poisonous trajectory of eroding whatever gains that this country would have achieved under His Excellency Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And so, Alhaji Sena, in truth, Founders Day is back as it was mooted. And like we say in the National Democratic Congress, it is not by accident that we don't refer to ourselves as just a political party solo. We say we are a Congress because we understand that there are CPP elements amongst us. There are Busia Dankwa traditionalists who are committed to the Busia Dankwa principles, who are within the new National Democratic Congress. And they are the revolutionaries who also form part of that party. And that is how we cross-fertilize our ideas. And I am sure it was that cross-fertilization that birthed Founders Day under His Excellency John Evans Atta Mills. That is now being reintroduced under His Excellency John Evans Atta Mills. The NDC could have decided to mark a Rawlings Day, but in our moderation and in our touch with reality, we still understand the pride of place Osagyefo and the likes occupy. And that was the reason why we looked beyond the politics of the National Democratic Congress and projected our national identity to the institution of the Founders Day.
Okay, thank you.
You are any edit Jumedian ABC at the Mama subscribe like a Jumedian shame. Nama for friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell to send a bed in news to platform. So I was no dear Echo and dear but POG Media, Yanama POG Media Jabre, Nashe a Jumediano and from my Yankopo and show be Ghana be Ghana because Ghana be fun into my pair from into Mama Yansumni Makramo.